Alright, welcome back. So we're going to do one other quick little change here. So now we're going to add, so what I'd like to do is, let's say for instance, we're going to go ahead and add a fan. So here's our ductwork, here's our fans. Now you can do fan wall, it just depends on what your graphic that you're building, correct? So here we go, we're going to look, and here's some different ones that we have. Let's see which one looks the best. So for this particular air handler, let's say the fan is behind the chilled water coil, it's belt driven, and it's a pull through. So what we're going to do is we'll right click, we'll do copy, let's go back here. Then what we're going to do is we're going to find fan status, or you can do enable. Just depends what you're utilizing as your point for what you want your fan to show. So let's say for instance for this one we want to show status. So what we're going to do is we're going to take a bound label, we can do image, we can animate, and here we go, we can already add it if we'd like. Control V, our fan off, but we want the fan on. So here's our GIF. We don't want a border. We do not want text. We just want a simple pulled out, and we do not need a display label name. So here is our point pulled out. And go up, come down, Control 1. Now we have our fan. Let's say we have a filter status. For this particular one, we don't. So what we like to do is just grab a duct filter. Now, we also have things that show UV lights, DPs, things like that. Here's a duct filter with a switch built in, showing that you can utilize it and you can animate this if you had a filter status to where as it gets above a certain pressure range, or however you're looking at your filter, you can make it change from the way that this one goes. It goes to gray. So we have, I'm going to reorder this to the top. Keep that in the play of the picture. So now we can move this all down as we, space everything out as much as you like, however you like. It's the great part about building the graphics. You can tailor it however you like, the way you want it to look. But like I said, if you want to, you can do a break right here, and then you could do a static pressure transducer and then show your duct static. But let's say for instance you want to show your fan start stop command. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go here and I want to animate my background, and when it's true we like to show this lime green color, and when it's false we can go back to white. You can go back to where just whatever the background of the image is. But then what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to animate your foreground. And we could do the status effect where if someone overrides it, it'll change to purple, and the customer will know, end user will know that the point has been overridden, or if it's in fault, or let's say the controller goes down, it'll show a yellow background. So we utilize this a lot. We really love it. So since the unit's not being called for, obviously it's going to be in false. Let's say we did not name our points the way we wanted to right off the bat, but we wanted to say a certain thing based on, so we'll do Boolean to simple since we know this is a true false statement. So when we're true, we want it to say enabled. When it's false, disabled. So instead of going back and changing the facet on a whole bunch of different things, you could just build it right here into the text and rock and roll and have no issues. Of course, now it's going to say disabled. Let's say, for instance, we wanted to override it, and it'll do the background. So I want to show that right quick. If this site was occupied, you'd see that it would be green. Here you go. Their status effect, it's changed it to purple. Now our fan status is showing that it's on. And look, now our chill water valve, because it's linked to fan status, our chill water valve opened up to 100% to maintain the discharge air temp. But like I said, I'm just showing the basics on how to start building things to see how things start to go. Trying to think of some other things to do. We can do outside air dampers. So since we've already kind of built a graphic for the chill water valve, we can actually take this, Control D, which duplicates it. And let's say, for instance, we want this image to be a damper. So what we can do is we go here to Images. I'm going to go back to my duct. So here's my duct dampers. I'll go into there. Dang it. So Blemo. So let's say, for instance, this is a Blemo. Horizontal, vertical. We know for a fact that we want this to be horizontal 0. So we'll click open, do Control C. Then we're going to go here, do Control V. Let's say we just want the half image, which is 5. Control V. Now you can do this to where it goes from 0 to 1 for showing that it's closed. Then you can go 1 to 10, and then 11 or 10 to 20, and then actually do base step-by-steps and show the damper slowly opening as it goes. It just depends on how you like to build it. I prefer to do all the steps, so we'll do 0, 1, let's go back, I messed up, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and there's your 9, which would be completely open. So for this one, we're just going to do this. We're going to go here, and we're actually going to kind of shrink this down a little bit because this is a little bit aggressive on our size. There you go. Now we can do Control D and duplicate it. But actually, let's bring this one down to the bottom. And I'll show you why. So you see how the bottom one is fit, but then we want to cover this top portion up when it fits right directly over it. So you always want this one to be on the top. Now you can change your ord, and you can make this, you can go find your outside air damper, your return air damper, whatever damper it is that you got going on, and start showing it here. So what we've also done is let's say, for instance, our outside air is on a fan and being fed by the fan. So a lot of times what we'll do is we'll move these dampers a little bit further back, and we'll actually put a fan motor right here, showing that the outside air has a fan, and we'll put the status in there. So that way, let's say, for instance, they're wondering why things aren't operating quite right or something doesn't seem right. It's always good to have a decent amount of information on the page. Some people don't like too much because then it overcomplicates it for them and they don't understand what they're looking at. Where there are engineers where they want to see everything and when they look at something, get all the information and figure out what's going on, so that way it makes it easier for them to try to figure out what they're going to go look at when they're troubleshooting. So like I said, it just depends on what you want. What we can do is a lot of times we'll expand this pane right here, and we'll make it a little bit larger. And we'll have, let's say, for instance, this is the return. So we'll have return air temperature here. We'll have our little temperature gauge at the bottom. Then below it, we'll have another one, and it'll say return air damper position. And then we'll have and we'll show the percentage down below it. And what we'll do is we'll just take another line and we'll just put it right here at the damper. So just depends on how you want to build it, how you're building your graphics. I always like to do is show a customer a couple sites, let them decide what it is that they want, how they want it to look, and then we'll start to build, and we'll build one graphic. And then we'll say, okay, hey, come check this out. Tell us what you like, what you don't like. Is this too much? Is this not enough? Is it too basic? Would you like a little more complicated? Would you like more verbiage? I've had a site where it was kind of a pain. The original graphics we built for them, we put all the very basics in there. They just wanted statuses and things like that. But then they came back to us later on. They said, hey, this is not enough information for our engineers. So then we showed them some of our other sites where we have a little more complicated things going on. And then once we show them that, some of the engineers got too overwhelmed with it and it did not work. So we had actually to revert back to the original graphics. So really talk to your customers, find out what it is they like. There's no reason that you can't build something really nice with a nice library like this instead of having to go out and get a whole nother software, third-party software package to add in the graphics. And then you're still going to have to go through a lot of the same stuff that you're going through right now, where you're going to have to add the points, you're going to have to bound a label. So why not just build something that's nice and clean? Now, for the sites, let's say for instance you're at a college campus. Now you can go with this, but there are some things where maybe the college campus wants to spend the $30,000 to $40,000 for the software for a particular type of graphic package, the Deluxe or FinStack, and that way they already have a nice size library. And then once you started building, it's just basically bounding your tags to everything. So right quick, I wanted to show another thing when you want to bound your ORDs. So let's say you want to bound the ORDs, but the way to do this is to build your graphic first. Then what you want to do is, let's say we took this graphic and we right clicked on our AHU, we did views, we did new view, and then you go here. So your view name, I like to keep it graphic. Now you can name the graphic that you've created. So let's say for instance you have a building that has a bunch of different type of rooftops or air handlers, things like that, and you want to label it based on which graphic you're utilizing. You can do that by naming it. Let's say for instance RTU1 graphic or AHU 1-1 graphic, and then it'll keep that name. So here I've already utilized, here's where I've built graphics based on the particular air handler, and then I can click whatever one I want, or I can go to the folder and I can find all the ones that are already in my PX file, which we've done for this one. It was just an AHU test. So for instance, let's say we click save, we clicked OK, boom, that picture would pop up. Well, now once you've got into that edit mode, so here's what I'm gonna do. Let's get out of this right quick. I want to put this back to emergency auto. So let's say for instance, here I am. I'm in the AHU. Now I'm going in edit mode. Right here, I wanted to relativize all the ORDs. So if I click relativize, it's going to take all this right here, and it's going to make the name, change the before name to this. So what we can do is let's say you have one site and you have 20 air handlers and they're all exactly the same. They're all multi-zones. They're all, just chilled water air handlers with, with a drive and things like that. What you can do is, now that you've created that one graphic and you relativize all the ORDs, now you can right click and utilize that view for every single air handler that matches up with it. Now, right here, you notice on this graphic, we have a pane that we built. We call it a side pane. You can build different things however you want, and then drag and drop them into the picture. So what we've done is I'm going to go down here. I want to show you guys right quick. So here is our side pane. And we built it based on this site. We modify it based on all the sites as we go. So what we've done is we got a main menu, our back. So what we do is we drag and drop this on every graphic, so that way the customer can see what's going on with the chillers. So here's like showing capacity, which pumps are running, if the towers are running, what's the condensing water coming back. Here's our condensing water pumps, domestic pumps, compressor, and then they have, for this one site, they have one set of lobby lights that are on a schedule. Also, we make all these hyperlinks to where it automatically brings you to the different your different graphics. So here's our schedule, and then here's all the different schedules. For some reason, they wanted this background to highlight when they went over it. It's fine. So then what we've done is we created a graphic for just the schedule itself, and then when we click on it, it'll bring us to the schedule page. It takes a little bit to load because it's the first. So here's our schedule. That way the customer can come in here, change it. Up at the top right, here's our little save button. It'll save. We made this. Here's the home page. You can click back. We're still building on the home page because we haven't quite found the right picture that we're looking for. And then we also want to add a little more information to the home page, so that way they kind of get a quick overview of what's going on maybe in the building. So a lot of times what we like to do is we'll put in little squares, kind of like this unit information right here, and we'll show AHU1, if it's occupied, what's the discharge air temp, and then maybe the average floor temp. So that way they can utilize and look however they're going. So this is just some of the basics of building graphics. I just wanted to kind of show. I'm going to go more and more as we go along, how we can add more information, how you can make them complicated, how you can make them a little bit easier. However, whatever you like, we can do central plants and show how we start building all this right here. And then trying to keep everything nice and neat and to where it kind of matches what we're looking for. Like I said, what we like to do is we like to put the information in that the customer wants and build it, and then modify it as they want to go. So a lot of times what we'll do is we'll put these right here, these temperature blocks, and we'll add them all in different spots. The guy didn't want it, he thought it was too much, which I agree. And then, but at least we're showing, where most of the sensors are located. Let's say it's got here's our chill water supply. Here's our condensing water going back to the tower. Here's our condensing water coming from the tower. And here's our chilled water. Actually, you can see right here, I have the wrong name. And then you can also do a lot of different other things. Like I said, there's right here what we've done is I wish this site we had the VAV boxes built in. We're actually in the process of getting ready to start retrofitting all the pneumatics to DDC for this particular site. But what we like to do is we like to make these panes right here, the label panes, to where we can change the name to whatever we want. This comes in really handy with VAV boxes and fan powered boxes, terminal units, however they're named, utilize. And so let's say, for instance, this was box VAV 7-13, suite 715, and you can put that in there, or you can actually put the location of the stats. It just really depends on what you're looking for. But just wanted to kind of give you guys some little some beginnings, and then let you kind of build upon it. Please like, subscribe, put comments down below. Tell me what it is that you're looking for, how you want to build something. Maybe there's something a little bit different. Maybe you have a question. Go ahead and put something in the comments section, and that's the only way I can build on trying to help everybody out and give them some information that they may not have, or something they may be looking for. So thank you.